Hello. Just gotten all my work done tonight. I can't with the people at work, so we're here to answer the questions. I feel like I've seen a lot of. Let's see. Haley and Eric have a son named Theodore, and they all call him Theo. So Theo is Haley and Eric's son. His name is actually Theodore. They just call him Theo. He is not the alpha that Lucas doesn't like. That's Alpha Theo. And as you can see, Eric and Theo are still friends. So, hi, Allie. Hi, Allison. So that. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Ragdoll. I saw Melanie is still not a twin, guys. Still not a thing. Melinda and Mary Beth are the twins, and they are her aunts. They are Drake's little sisters. No, we haven't seen them in a while because we're not following them, and EJ and Elise aren't in Red Run or Blue Moon, which is where Melinda is because she's mated to Landon, and he lives in Blue Moon. So we're not seeing them as much, and that is why. Because Elise and EJ aren't in Blue Moon or Red Run as much as they were. So that's why we don't see them as much. Let's see. What else did I see? I feel like there was more. I feel like there were more things I saw. Hi, Levon. Oh, for the bajillionth time. Yes, Cassie's book is next, and if you have anything rude otherwise to say about it, those comments are just going to get deleted. A couple have been reported, and they are deleted. So, if I remember correctly, Gamma McCann, that Chase killed his sister's son, took over as Gamma, is his son Trevor. Yes, his son is Trevor. He's the current Gamma, so the sister's son is the current Gamma, and that's who Theo said he liked as a boy. But then something happened, and then Alpha Theo said he didn't like him anymore. That's the son of the sister. And Trevor is his son. Yes. So. Oh, also, Alpha Davis, there are two of them. The former one, who is the original one that was the Alpha when Chase talked to them. And then there's his son, who also goes by Alpha Davis. They have the same last name. I'm not quite sure why that's a question, but they have the same last name because it's his dad. So, hi, Danielle. But that's where we're at with that. I've seen some fun Cassie theories. Theories. There were hints that were probably just, to me, they're just obvious in the last chapter about Cassie. Seen a couple people get it right, but a lot of people are a little off. Hi, happy rainy Tuesday. Oh, it's raining where you are. It's very sunny here. In a tornado watch. Oh no, where are you? Rereading Emily's book, I was just curious if Katie ever went on an off period with Logan. No, they don't have off periods. Hi, Ramonsa. They do not have off periods because Katie doesn't want them. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Dakota. What is the significance of Jason's watch that Melanie gave him? He said that he thinks it shorted when he was taking it. It shocked him. Haley mentioned that something kept him alive. And maybe we'll find out the rest. Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh, I have coworkers there. They haven't said anything about that today. I love the respect their partner. Yeah, the Hercure are very respectful. Like it's a conversation. I keep reiterating that in the books because I feel like people aren't getting that. But yeah, it's a respect thing. It's a conversation. So But yeah, I thought I'd jump on here because, that last chapter was packed full of information, you guys. Just do like a midweek check on everybody and how we're doing. Is everybody okay? So I saw some people on the page that thought, they were going to go get Melanie when they turned 24. I don't know where that came from because that happened in Ray's Sakura when they were 24. But the visiting Haley said that her son at the time was 26. So logic would tell you in between that before he was 26, they figured out what happened with Melanie. So either the ages that they figure this out are 25 or 26. I was laughing that Angela's son was mated to Farron's son. You guys, I have been really excited about that for a long time. Just because, yeah, she's a bit more fairy, so she needed a fairy mate. And, Eric's reaction. So that was always going to be a fun one. Friday the 13th outtake was funny. I told you guys a couple lives ago that you guys would probably find the fact that I don't like scary movies funny. I have watched all the Friday the 13th movies because my husband likes horror movies. But yeah, so I threw that one out there. It's kind of ironic because I don't like that stuff. Also, my husband wasn't home when I wrote that one, and I should have just asked him, hey, babe, what is the creepy in Trick or Treat, the creepy little scarecrow-looking kid? Is his name Sam? Sam. Yeah, see, I was right. I couldn't remember if that was his name or not, so I didn't write it in there. But yes, the creepy little kid Sam who kills people for not obeying the rules of Halloween. That movie. Ashley's so hostile to Jason. Why does she think he's the beta? I'm so sure she's Melanie. It would blow me away if she wasn't. We'll get answers to why she's so hostile towards Jason and why Ashley thinks that he's the beta. And technically speaking, he is. Like, he could have the title. He does the job of a beta. He's just gearing more towards challenging for the male lead warrior. So he is technically a beta. And they've said that several times. He just doesn't want the title, but he is one. Let me say, I feel like this book has had more mind-blown cliffhangers and I'm dying. Okay, guys, see, here's the thing. If you think that where this is going, it's not going to sit well with you. But here's the thing. For this book, I don't think we have cliffhangers because we wrap up each chapter on each side, basically going through a year or 6 months in their life. So it's not like, where the next chapter is picking right off so that I'm ending on a cliffhanger. To me, these all wrap up by the end of the year. Obviously, we have things that they're still going to look forward to. And this last chapter, it stated like EJ's turning 5 in a couple weeks. So, and they're taking a trip. So obviously we're just going to pick up a couple weeks later. So that was a little more cliffhangery, but not a cliffhanger in my mind. The headache spells the same one, is the same as the fear one on Xader's mind. No. I know, but she seemed to think Tristan is not around. Ashley seems to think Tristan is not around. She certainly has never addressed Tristan as the beta. So we'll see. No more clowns. I almost had a heart attack. I actually don't like clowns either. So yeah, I don't like creepy clowns. I don't like clowns in general. Yeah, that outtake was interesting for me to write because I don't like scary movies and I don't like clowns. But I still thought it was fun. That's because they're all evil. Well, some of them are nice. Some of them come to children's birthday parties, but they're still kind of jerks. Like they squirt you in the face with like a fake flower pen. Like they're not nice people. What can you tell us about Odette, if anything? Remember her name, guys. Remember Odette's name. Are the headaches like the ones that were on Teleted's parents? So here's what I'll say about the headaches. Obviously, there's something going on. And if it had been something that had been seen before, it would have been picked up on by the main group. So there was a very big plan that went into the headaches and what they are, and it's going to span across more than one supernatural group, you guys. So it's something that our group has never come across before, and that's why none of them know what's going on. Sammy really doesn't like clowns, you guys. They are kind of jerks. I mean, even if they're nice ones, they're kind of jerks. But yeah, the headaches. I am rereading Emmeline's book, and I feel like what's going on with Mel is similar to what Allison McAllister went through. We will see. You will see. I loved Harry's reaction to them and her choice words, to the headaches or to Angela finding her mate. Rapunzel, your mind is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Gotta keep you guys on your toes. How am I doing today? I'm doing good. Work is annoying. My coworkers, I swear, sometimes we're on here chatting because I can't with my coworkers anymore, you guys. I get my job done well before they do. I've written an outtake, edited a chapter. Doing pretty good. But yeah, what we know about Odette, we know that she met Melanie recently. She sometimes sings with, she recently met Ashley, and she sometimes sings with them. She is younger than Ashley is. So, I'm tired, you guys. No matter how early I go to bed, I'm still just tired. But yeah, she recently met Ashley. She sometimes sings with them, but none of the Hakura have met her. She doesn't sing all the time. And she has a good voice. She has a good voice. And maybe we should draw some parallels to that. Just a thought. Both. I love that she pushed her sons and Eric to accept what was happening, and then talk to the fairy that's the strongest healer about headaches. Yeah, she's more than annoyed about that, because if there was something physically wrong with them, she would have known, and so would Alexander. So, it's something that, had anyone mentioned it, she might have started looking to it sooner, because she'll come up with a theory, but it won't make sense to her for part of the group that's getting headaches. But for the other part, it makes not perfect sense, but it's her theory, and she's right for some of them. So, will we find out what the headaches are in EJ's book, or it'll be another book? We will find out in this book. So we do find the answer to that. I love the reaction to Angela meeting her mate. Did not see it being Farron's son, though. That was why it was fun. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I could actually picture Eric's face in my head when it all happened. Haley and him were linking. She was like, just calm down. Calm down. And he didn't want to do it. Even Farron himself was surprised. How long are Hakura pregnancies? I believe we've talked about this. They're the same as fairies, I believe. 5 months. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, there's our 5 months. So we're fairies. So, yeah. Yeah. But yes, we will get a resolution to the headaches coming up shortly. Because we'll have Elisa's chapter at 24. And we have 25. And then we have the epilogue. So we'll probably start Cassie's book next week. So I think that's where it's going to go. Ron said, I think Caden is Cassie's mate. They never knew because they never met. They kept missing each other. That is a theory. We will find out. That is the same message. My phone's messing with me. It knows I'm tired. I don't know if you guys saw my rant about autocorrect on the Facebook page, but I just need to know, like, I feel like the makers of Apple and autocorrect, even Android, I feel like they're messing with everybody because no one has ever typed "what the duck" and meant duck. It's not a thing. Levon agrees with Ramon about Cassie's mate. Well, we will, guys. As I've said multiple times, her title gives it away. So, hi, Saluka. So when I post the cover art and get with the girl that does my cover art, she's probably going to be like, "Wow," and see if she wants to do Cassie's, because if she does, when I post it in here, it will give it away, so you guys will have to keep it a secret from the Facebook group. One of my friends had an adorable change to a smiley face by autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect is strange. All right, Allison, if we're wrong, I'll be done. Oh, Allison agrees. I'll be dumbfounded. We'll find out shortly, guys. Marnie, you're not late. It's okay. But, yeah. So we're coming up on the climax to EJ's story. I will say this climax is unlike any of the other epilogues that I've written before. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, it's not gonna be the conclusion like the last 4 have been for an epilogue. So we're just gonna build some more, and then we'll jump into Cassie's story. So just mentally prepare yourselves for that, guys. This book is not one of the ones that ends with a neatly tied bow and has, roses and everything. So just all those people commenting that they want to pull their hair out aren't going to like me very much. Some people might go bald in the group. I don't know. Sylvia, totally follow your autocorrect rant. I'm telling you. Somebody has a great time at everyone else's expense. They just guess things. They're like, what can we autocorrect words to that make literally no sense? Sometimes they're not okay, at least duck, that's 1 letter different. Some of them though, it's like a whole other word. It's weird. You are excited about everything. It's a good thing that I am excited. I am excited for where we're going. Still can't wait for Cassie's story. I've been curious of what she's been up to. So a lot of why we haven't mentioned Cassie is because can't really mention her without mentioning her mate, because they are together a lot because they're mates. So part of why she's not being mentioned is because they're together. So we still love everything as always. Allison, I can already tell you guys, people are going to freak out about the epilogue. I'm just not going to read any of the comments on Facebook, guys. That's where we're going with that. So if you have a question for me, needs to be you're going to have to tag me. Yeah, you'll have to tag me. So, 1 second. Let's see. It's like that, huh? The epilogue, or like the hiding from people. It's like both of those things. Was that a Microsoft Team notification? It was. Will Cassie's story be jumping through ages and time as well? Yes. Yes, it will. Yeah. Not because so the only reason I'm going to hide from people, and so if you want something, either, message me on Patreon or tag me in it, is because I know that there are specific people that are going to have lots of words about how this book is ended, because it's not like the other 4. So I'm sure it'll throw some people through a loop. I've seen some people speculating that this book is going to end on a cliffhanger as opposed to wrapped up in a nicely neat bow, which the book should tell you that based on where it's going. But they're right. I spend my life on Team, so do I. But yeah, this book just has a different ending than the other ones. So I know lots of people are going to have feelings about that, so I'm just going to stay away from them. I have a question about the relationship between Mercutius and Haley. If they're cousins, is it by marriage? As in, why Haley has no water powers in her. So Mercutius and Haley, her mom is the cousin. So her mom's sister, there's more than just Phelan. Aunt. Her mom's aunt is Mercutius's mom. She was mated to a water fairy, but her aunt is sky and earth. That's why Haley has no water powers. I've got to wake up. It's only like 3:00 here, and I'm still sleeping. Good show what a cliffhanger really is. Oh, yeah. Yep, you guys. I have, no matter, so I told you as I was trying to decide between a couple of epilogues for EJ's book, and no matter which one I choose, I knew what word was going to kind of be towards the end of it, if not the last word. I'm not sure if it will be the last word because the readers would know, but the characters wouldn't. So I'm toying with whether or not it'll be the last word, but it will definitely be towards the end, this thing that gets said. And that was going to be no matter which one I chose to end on. So really excited. I'm really excited about this epilogue. I really like it. But I know not everyone will agree and be happy about it, especially since we're going to jump back in time into Cassie's book. So, I love cliffhangers. They keep us on our toes. Well, you just prepare to be on the edge of your seat and on your tiptoes. Forget those people. You are the author. And the great one of that. Thank you. Is the party with the band the thing that Alania said about getting Alexander to his mate in the letter? So Micah already told Lexi that they're not going to come. So no, because he's right. They won't come. And there's a reason they won't come to the area that, Lexi is trying to get them to come to. So Micah is right. They're not going to come. I figured we'd have a cliffhanger for EJ's book and possibly Cassie's. I haven't decided the ending of Cassie's. It's possible, highly likely. But for sure, EJ's is. But we know this will end in a cliffhanger because if not, then we would be well into Alexander and Cassie's stories. At this point, we are well into Cassie's story. We just haven't talked about it and what's going on with her. Just saying the same. It's a trilogy I'm building for fabulousness. Yeah, and I like the epilogue. I think a lot of you guys will agree with me. It's a lot of fun. It's just different, and it's not, not wrapping up with everybody being super thrilled. So I'm sure we all want to read their own stories. I wouldn't consider it going back in time, but learning about her character and what she's been up to. Can't wait. That's true. We're just going to jump back to when she's a specific age. I love the Marcus and Bjorn outtakes. I was so mad at Marcus, stupid Godzilla. That was hard to write because I don't like writing. I didn't like writing Eric when he was charmed or Marcus, even though, now we know, like at first, when we're reading Haley's side of everything, no one understands why Eric's acting the way he is. And it kind of takes a little bit for it to come out because her fairy side is broken. So if her fairy side hadn't been broken, that would have come out right then and there, and he would have been uncharmed. So, how many Akira's siblings have children that are not from their mates? So Marcus and Logan are the only ones, and Logan has one because he didn't meet Katie for a while. And Marcus had his before he met Torby. Everyone kind of thought it was weird he was trying to have kids with Claudia because the brothers kind of all agreed they were just going to have kids with their mates. They weren't. Because of what happened to Haley, they were a little oversensitive to that. Bring on the epicness. Thank you. I'm so excited about this. I'm glad. So, I'm rereading book 1 again for like the 5th time, and I've just gotten to the summit. Still makes me mad. Yeah, it should. But yeah, it's just important to remember that he's not really acting of his own free will. I have to ask, has anyone requested an outtake of Emmeline going to the McAllister house yet to meet Melanie? Yes, that has been requested. Let me look at where it's at on the list. So it's towards the bottom of the request, but it is there. And we will be getting a Melanie point of view here in a few days because someone did request Melanie's point of view on meeting EJ. So I'm mad at Godzilla, not Eric. She's an awful person. She is. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Do we get... Okay, so tomorrow we're going to get some info about Claudia's wolf. I'm very excited for everybody to get clued in on this. It's fun. Let's see. People don't know how lucky they are. I remember waiting 3 years between Harry Potter books, pre-ordering and outside the bookshop at midnight for my copies and my sister's copies. Gosh, I remember that with Twilight. I didn't get into Twilight till Eclipse, so I didn't have that way. But my best friend got me when Eclipse came out. We went to go get copies, and I was like, "What happens?" Double the excitement. Can't wait for those. Yeah, the next couple of outtakes are pretty fun, guys. This is nothing compared to the wait for Harry Potter. They are equally amazing. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you feel that way. That's very nice. How does Fabian react to Alania in the Beyond after she's rejected by Fenelton or Alien, or should that be a request? I believe that is a request. Let me look. Yep, that's the last request I have. I have a couple more I'm waiting on people to request, but that's the last one on my list, so we will find that out. Will we find out why Melanie thought Alexander was her mate at 3 years old? If so, will it be in this book? We will find out why. There's a bit to it. Part of it, she just feels like she knows. And we'll see that with her outtake from her side point of view from EJ. But yeah, we'll see that. We will get answers. All the questions shall be answered. Yeah, because there's a lot going on. This is not an uncomplicated situation happening. That's why when people are like, why can't they figure it out? It's like, well, because it's pretty dang complicated. It's not that they're dumb. It's that multiple things are going on and multiple supernatural groups are plotting against them. And they've had a very long time to do so. And they've had a very long time to observe the Connors and how they do things, the Lyons and how they do things, even the Daniels and the Kyles. The Rings were not just sitting back, not doing anything. They were observing, watching, and learning how to get around things. There are a couple like plots going on, but the irony of this comes out when one of the characters goes on a pretty just spot on, like pointing out the irony and the flaw in all this. And yeah, it's really funny because if you're a group of people that has plotted this long and you have this like massive plan, it's pretty funny when the main part of your plan is the thing that ruins it. So it's pretty funny. Time to go cuddle with my pillow. Have a nice day. Bye, Sylvia. Have a good night. I always catch her at the most random times, you guys. I'm sorry, Sylvia. Sammy has to drop. Bye, Sammy. She has a very early start to her day. It's like 3:13 where I am, guys. Although I would like to go to bed. I might take a nap. But that does get pointed out, but it is something that, EJ is 24 at this point. So since he was born and, for a long time, pretty much since Eric has taken over, he's been watched by these people. The Hakura, they've been watched. Their reactions have been watched. There's a lot of information and decades of information that people have of how to, judge and gauge how they're going to react to things. It was intentional that Eric and his group had always been kept out of like the loop of rings and stuff. It's not something that they really knew was happening because they were trying to keep the werewolves in the dark. And if you start taking people from around Eric or his allies, they're going to know. So, and I saw that people thought that the Undergrounds took Jane because they knew she was Theo's mate. That's not the case. So I told you guys that to remember Nathan McDermott from book 1. And that's because he and his brother separated. They didn't do kind of what the new thing is to do where they all stay together. So they attacked him because he was a smaller pack. He's further away from everybody. And because they could get away with it. So it's just kind of proving that point of where Eric started to lead the wolves and then Chase followed his example and then the Kyles followed his example. It's just proving why that they should do that. And it's why people didn't like Eric at first. A lot of his opposition, no one could say anything against him because he is one of the most, skilled fighters and he is strong. And he brought a lot of good things to the werewolf community, but part of the reason people didn't like him is because he made it harder to attack. So if when Jackson had gotten older, they were the closest ally to that pack when Shanna was taken, and they were 300 miles away. So if Jackson had been 300 miles away from him, that's going to take time for him to get there, and that's before fairies were involved. So it's not like they could pop; they'd have to drive or they'd have to run, and that's going to take time. So they didn't attack Nathan McDermott because they knew about Theo and Jane. They didn't. They had no idea, and it wouldn't have taken her if they did. But they attacked because they could, and they had been planning that attack for a while, just to kind of. It was basically like a screw you to the Connors because it is one of their allies, but it is one of their smaller allies that's further away that they can't just, get to really quickly. And his brother couldn't get there quickly either. So that's what it was. It wasn't about Theo and Jane. But yeah, because if they had known, like you now have the Hakura, the fairies, the werewolves. You got several supernatural groups coming up against you now, and that's not what they want. So whereas, you take an alpha's daughter, you've got the werewolves kind of looking after you. Well, you've figured out how to evade them, but now you're trying to evade 3 different groups of people who are very determined to find these girls because of who they are. So, and that's kind of where they underestimate the Connors. They don't really understand kind of their motivation because they would have involved everybody anyway. They were just like the Hakura were extra motivated to help because it was Theo's mate. So that's why they attacked Alpha Nathan McDermott's pack. And that's why I said to remember him. There's also another reason that we should remember him, but Emmeline told us why we should remember him. Does anybody have any other questions? But yeah, it's weird. It's weird this book is going to be under 100 chapters. But like I said, I'm not gonna, I was tempted to, just drag the book out because people were irritating me, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get to my points, and then we're going to go on to Cassie's story, which I'm excited about. And I'm excited to see some things that her mate is going to tell us. And we'll answer the questions of how Angela saved Cassie when she was 3. That will get answered. Yeah. So that will be fun. But yeah, there's been a lot of information in this book that has been dropped for future knowledge. I've also seen somebody saying that I said we were going to introduce a new supernatural race in this book. That was about Raised Hakura, and we did. They're Kitsunes. I didn't say anything about a new supernatural race in this book or the next one, or the one after that. So I know everybody's excited, but I don't like it when people say that I've said things I have not said. And I did introduce a new supernatural race a book ago. So we were introduced to Kitsunes. They will come into play eventually. That will happen. And the hints for that have been laid down as to who, where, and why. Hints are there, people. Hints are all over the last chapter. All over the last chapter. Some I have seen no one pick up on, which I thought for sure some people would instantly connect a couple characters, but we did not. I don't even think anybody noticed. But that's okay, because when we get to that book, people will remember. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that was there. But yeah, let's see. What else can we talk about? Does anybody have any other questions or things you want to try to get out of me? I'm tired, so I don't really have much of a filter, so you probably get some answers. That boy Emmeline saves, that was a shapeshifter in book 2. Is he around? And okay, he is around and he's fine. He was taken in by Red Run. He's fine. Excited for Angela to save Cassie. Here comes the boom for hints. Oh yeah. Yep, that's gonna happen in Cassie's book. Well, Angela realized that she's been missing things since she missed Theo's mate being taken. Angela knows she's missing things. Angela is not a magic 8-ball, though. She can't see everything at all times. She can't keep track of everybody and everything. She still does have the most powerful sight. She's just a few steps behind it. She's only 10, so she's doing pretty good. Is Odette Luck's missing sister? That's certainly a conclusion to draw. They have things in common. We shall find out. I have to reread the last 2 chapters again. I've been going to work crazy early, so I will try to find those hints. You go, Vlavon. Yeah, I don't see any other questions on Patreon. Okay, so I'm caught up. Caught up with the questions. Clear all notifications. Okay, now if one comes up, I'll see it. But yeah, that's certainly a connection to draw, and we will find out those answers. Not for a hot minute, but we will find out the answers. Because obviously we have to get to Cassie's story, and then we have to get to Alexander's story. So there's a lot to unpack with him. There's a lot going on with him and with his mate. So, but I have not seen someone get the whole thing of what's going on correct. I've seen people get a lot of pieces correct. I believe Odette is Lex's missing sister. A couple people are seeing that. We will have to see later if that'll probably be involved. A couple things will be towards the end of Alexander's story. And, it will go off into a different thing from there. But we'll get all the answers to the questions. Alexander's book has a lot of answers in it. A lot of answers. But yeah, I've seen some people get or have pretty close theories to what's going on with Alexander and other things. But no one's gotten it. No one's quite got it yet, guys. But it is a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun to read those theories and be like, oh, so close, so close. And some people are just very wrong, which is also fun because it's like, I see how they got that, but no. So I do like reading your guys' theories. It is fun. I saw a thread. There's a thread for Alexander and Cassie's theories, so those are fun. I'm putting on my thinking cap. There's some good ones out there. There are some that are fairly close to correct, but not quite. That's why you're the writer or the audience. I think Alania has set up things to mess with Alexander because he resembles Arian as the enforcer, yay or nay. There is a Connor sibling that Alania cares about more than all the other ones, and it is not Alexander. So, is Nathan McDermott's second chance mate stuck in the ring? No. Will Haley ask King Arthur about the headaches after she asks Aiden? We'll have to see where Haley goes with this. So, because she's obviously going to get pretty quick. She's prickly. She's prickly. No, she's pretty quickly going to get a theory about what's going on because obviously she knows it's not physical. And I've seen this, like Katie would recognize the magic. So I'm going to have to explain this again. Witches sense magic on an object. So if there was an object, they would be able to tell that there was dark magic at play. Or if there's a signature, her and her siblings specifically studied a dark magic signature that David had. But if you were watching them, you would know that. And you would not use that type of magic. So there's that. I think Elise's wolf was someone horrible before, but is a girl wolf always with a girl? It seems to be. Yes. And that answer is actually going to be coming up shortly. The way you write, we can't help but try to go with what you write next. Oh, I love it. I love when you guys try. Like I said, sometimes people get it spot on. Sometimes people are like so close. And sometimes people write stuff and I'm like, oh, that would have been good. But no. So. I don't know if this is just a question for me or if it's a question for this. Stacy, if you're asking me the question for the group, let me know. I will respond later if you are not. But yeah, no, I loved your guys' theories that you come up with. But, oh gosh, we're just getting so close to so many answers. And then we can talk, you guys. Then we can have a real chat about things and stuff. Because we're so close to so many answers. Because as we saw, EJ is starting to get a strong indication that, did Robert and Susanna have a child? Yes, Robert and Susanna have a couple of children. But we're starting to get so close to so many things. And Susanna's a vampire now, guys. But they had 2 kids before she was turned. But yeah, we are so close to so many answers. And then I just know. Will they be a part of any stories? I don't know. I do have an outline for Brianna, and they would probably be in hers. So. But yeah, so close to so many answers. Then we can have a chat, and everybody's going to be like, and I'll be like, I know. Now you can get on my level, guys, about how excited I've been about all this. Because obviously there will be some answers at the end of EJ's book. There will still be questions, though. So the ring about fighting. So is the ring about fighting and sexual? Because Haley was sexually abused, and we will see the fighting in the underground. So the ring has kind of evolved. It is about, obviously, it's sex trafficking is what it is, for the most part. But they also have their other uses. They also have their experiments that they're doing, and now they've kind of expanded into the undergrounds. So they just keep evolving and growing as a group, which is what groups do, but horrible in their case. Can you say when TJ gets his mate? I can't say that. Are we going to see more of Rolf and Charlie Rose? I have an outline for Charlie Rose. With who we're following right now, it doesn't really make sense to see them that much. So, but I do have an outline for her and him. So one day we might get to them. So much writing, so little time. But I do have an outline for them. Because obviously her life is, it's interesting, and she's kind of an interesting character, and she's a lot of fun. So, will their babies be called cherubs? I mean, I guess they could. I don't know why not. Can't wait to hear what Aunt Katie finds after going to the underground fighting when she sensed the dark magic. She sensed the dark magic because it is something David would use. So the ring is still using dark magic that David came up with, and that's why she sensed the magic on those girls. You have so many outlines. I can't wait. I have for the long haul. I do have so many outlines, you guys. So many. But yeah, so the ring just didn't stop using David's stuff. They just don't use it when they know they might come into contact with that main group of our core allies, because they know that they would be found out. It's fairly obvious to the Bishop siblings. So the ring truly did not think that they were going to find Jane and Madeline. They kind of realized how badly they messed up once they found out Theo was Jane's mate. But they, it was kind of just like rubbing their nose in it, like, we've gotten away with this for so long, and we got away with taking 2 of your allies' kids. Granted, it's one of the only allies they could have gotten into and taken, because they were a smaller pack, and most of the other allies are now like formed together with their siblings, so they're a lot stronger for it. And we saw that Nathan and his brother are now going to do that as well. unfortunately, it just came too late. But yeah. So, but yeah. But yeah, Katie is right. The sniper had nothing to do with the magic placed on them. So it's the sniper's not working with a dark witch or anything like that. It was just placed on them, not by her. Poor Nathan lost his mate. I'm curious who his second mate will be, though. She's a coming. But oh boy, yeah, she's coming. I think you already said this, but after Alexandra's book, what are the next ones you plan to do? So I have talked about this several times, but I haven't decided where we're going after Alexandra's book. It will either be jumping back into a Ribbon Strand or going straight to Keaton Daniels' book. It's not books, it's just a book. Who is Lexi and Chase's son. I feel like I have to keep saying that. Keaton Daniels is Lexi and Chase's son. So his twin is Keith. They are the second set of twins. Emmett and Emma are the first. So Emmett is taking over the pack with his Luna, Alexandria, who is Teak and Sophia's daughter. So we'll see more about what the Daniels have been up to. And we'll see a little bit about Lexi driving herself a little crazy, trying to get this band to show up. Because, yeah, so several people have Ashley's email, but Ashley doesn't have to answer her email. So, definitely want to hear more about the Daniels and hopefully of Emmeline and Lucas's kids as well. Yeah, they have stories. It's just I have stories that are stuff, but they're not quite like central to the storyline and what's going on right now. Because I think, don't quote me on this, guys, but here's kind of my thought. Either I'm going to do a Ribbon book and then Keaton's book, or Keaton's book, then maybe jump back into the Ribbon. Then we'll do Preston's book, and then it would probably be Jade, which is Jade Lyons. I'm not sold on that order, though. I'll have to decide. So, why Keaton and not one of the other children? I can't tell you that. There's a reason, though. There is a reason for the order of all of them. But yes, I can't tell you why it's Keaton next. But it will be Alexandra is Luna already. I thought they had to wait till they were 18. How old is she right now? She was when they were 7. Hold on. So she's 17. She's almost 18, guys. Your sleepy room, Burn, you have no filter, right? She's 17, though, guys. And her mate's the alpha. She's not fully taken over as Luna. She's still doing the stuff kind of like Elise did. Her parents, like, one is a very strong lead warrior and one is an alpha. She's been around all this stuff her whole life. So she's helping out. She's not fully the Luna yet, but she is always going to be his Luna. Like, for me, that's Elise was EJ's Luna the whole time. It's just she didn't have her ceremony yet. But if you're a mate of an alpha, you're a Luna. So will you write any books / novellas on the Hakura siblings, specifically Bjorn and Marcus? I have outlines for all of them. That means you're supposed to tell you about what. I have outlines for all the Hakura brothers. I like their stories. I have one on Titus and Veronica too. Yeah. Specifically, Logan and Katie was asked for, so that's probably one of the bigger outlines. But yeah, I have little ones on them too. But okay, I get what Rowan is asking about now. Oh, my question about Keaton. See there? See, just took me several minutes to catch up to where you're going. I can't answer the question about Keaton for specific reasons. Otherwise, I probably would answer it. But I will say there have been hints in this book about it. I was going to ask about Logan and Katie. I just keep getting more excited. I'm glad you're excited. I've had an outline on them for a long time. Yeah, it's just when getting to that book will make sense. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I have. Let me see. Go out of that note. Go into this note. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of ribbon ones, and then yeah, we've got Preston, we've got Keaton, got more ribbons. I have a Tabitha and Harold story for Raised to Cura. That reality. I have outlines on Lexi and Chase and Emmeline and Lucas in the Raised to Cura outline as well. But yeah, I have Logan and Katie, Bjorn and Astrid, Marcus and Torvi, Susie and Sebastian, Marabella and Tucker, Beta James and Idell, Brianna and her mate, who I almost said his name, Sophia and Teak, Carrie and Kincaid, Lucinda and Aiden, Miley and Jim, the rest of Haley's brothers. Let's see. Another ribbon reality. Another Haley reality. And then I have an outline for a book that has nothing to do with this universe. The Hikira are very exciting. We just need you to write all your outlines. I have a lot of outlines, you guys. Because, yeah, then there's Titus and Veronica. I've toyed with doing one on Nadine and Frank Daniels. I could come up with one for Nathan and Cassandra. I just don't know if people would be interested in it, so let me know. Yeah, here's a couple of I'll tell you a couple of the ribbon realities in my notes. So I have one where Haley goes to the fire territory. She's not supposed to. So she makes the decision to go to the fire territories, which she doesn't. She meets Exis, and he takes off her bracelet, and she's near a portal, and she feels like instant confusion come into her, and she feels it very close to her on the other side of the portal. So she pops outside and pops to Bjorn. And Exis follows her. And she's been beat to hell. So she's in casts and stuff. And Bjorn's unhappy by all of that. And then, I like this one. Okay, so this one is a reality where Haley begs Aiden to let her travel with them so that she's not with Fabian, and he agrees. So her, Arian, and Aiden all bond. So they're closer, and she eventually confides in them what has happened, and Aiden takes over and kicks Fabian out. But Fabian and his group obviously still cause problems. So the werewolves declare war because Fabian's group of fairies do bad things. And the first time Haley gets called, her protection is called out by a fairy. And the first time she meets Eric is in an all-out battle between fairies and werewolves. And they're on opposite sides. Because she's 15 And then our other family's on the other side too. So the Hakura are fighting with Eric. So yeah. Yeah, and that one's actually fun too because Haley still didn't really trust people with knowing she has powers. So Aiden actually figures out that she has powers because he sees her practicing. So then they work with her, and so she's pretty good at that. And then let's see. And then there's one, I don't know if we've talked about this one, but there's one where Fabian doesn't use the strongest bracelet he has for her. So he uses one that conceals her sorrow from fairies, but not her connection with her Hakura family. It's not strong enough for that. So they feel what's going on with her, and they come for her. They declare war against the fairies. So they start taking people. Fabian's not doing anything, so Aiden takes over, and he reaches out to Titus to demand a meeting, and Titus says he will only come if all three siblings are there. So he wants Haley there. And obviously the fairies are losing because you're fighting against the protectors of the realm, and they're sneaky. So he agrees, and only if it's on neutral territory. So Bjorn and Eric have met. So Bjorn goes to Eric and asks if they can have this meeting there with the Halloran family, and Eric is interested in Haley, so he agrees as long as he can be there. So it's going to be in Eric's territory, and Eric's actually late to the meeting, but Haley, when he gets there, she starts crying because she thinks he's going to reject her, and nobody understands why. And so she'll only, then Titus reveals that he's her dad. And so Haley will only talk if she's like near Eric or sitting in his lap. And her brothers have feelings about all of this. And let's see. Hexus comes to spy on the meeting, which doesn't end well for him because Fabian sent him to see what Haley said and why Titus wanted to talk to Haley. But before he could get away, he was, you can't really spy on the protectors of the realms closely. So, yeah, that's that one. Okay, let me see. It'd be awesome to read a Nathan and Cassandra book. Haley and Eric meeting on the battlefield. That one's pretty fun. Because obviously, even Shifted and Thor would have a very strong response to his fated mate being in battle, and so would she. Fabian using the wrong bracelet one. That one's fun too. All be fun. Let's see. We did that one in a book. Ooh, I like this one too. So this one is Haley got caught at 13 when she tried to escape, but at 14 she is successful at escaping. And she's found by goblins, who we've been hinting a lot in these realities that goblins want to erase her memory. So it took them a really long time, but they did manage to erase her memory, and they sent her after Aiden to kill him. So she goes back to Foray, but she feels that connection with him, and he's, it's been, she's almost 16 by the time they finally managed to erase her memory of everything, and turn her. They trained her on her powers, so she knows how to use them. That's what she knows, and she knows what they told her. They gave her this list of people to kill, but she stops at Aiden because she doesn't kill him, because she can tell that there's something to each other, and he obviously knows her. She didn't even know her name, and he calls her by name, and she's like, well, why would someone send me to kill you? And he's like, what, you're here to kill me? And she's like, I'm supposed to. I have this whole list. And she shows it to him because it's Haley. And he's like, I would not recommend killing any of the people on these lists, because the Hakura are on that list too. Specifically, Bjorn is on the list. And Aiden's like, no, do not go after these people. And she's like, oh, okay. And so he tries to keep her there, but she just leaves. And she uses her powers, which he was not expecting because he didn't know she had them. So Aiden's kind of in like a whole mind blown moment because he kind of figures it out together. He's like, who have you been with? And so she tells him some names of people, and he's like, those are goblins. He's like, you don't have any memory, do you? And she's like, no, I don't really know anything. I just know I have this list. And I know how to use my powers. And he's like, you have powers? And she throws him across the room. And he's like, oh, okay, we have powers. So, yeah, so then she kind of just like goes off the grid and starts, living her life. She travels. She ends up in Montana at one point, and a certain wolf is then intrigued by a scent. And obviously, when she turns 16, she starts seeing the Gold-Eye people. But she doesn't know anything about herself. So she has no idea what they would be looking for, and she just knows that they are looking for her, so she avoids them. So Gunnar has a fun time tracking her down, and Gunnar is actually the first person that gets close enough to have a conversation with her out of all of them. Because, yeah, so Gunnar is actually the first one to have a conversation with her and kind of figures out, he's like, so, just like they start talking, and he kind of puts together, he's like, oh crap, you don't really know anything. She's like, nope, I just have this list. And he's like, what list? And so she explains it to him, and he's like, oh crap. So their conversation is actually really cute and really funny, and he's the one who convinces her to come with him to the Hakura realm. Obviously, her brothers are around. Harper's obviously there because Gunnar's there, but Bjorn and Marcus are there too. But Gunnar's not as intense as them. He's deadly himself, but he's not as intense, and obviously he doesn't have the same intensity they do to want to find Haley, and because obviously they keep finding her because Gunnar keeps finding her. So she's just a little less leery of him because she knows Bjorn's name. She knows what he looks like. So she thinks he's upset with her because he was on the list. And she's like, but I didn't try to kill him, so I don't know why he's mad at me. But yeah, that one's fun. That one's fun. Oh, and then, we hinted at this in the outtake with, and then we have the one where it was hinted at in the outtake with Gunnar and Harper, where Gunnar's mate dies. The demon, instead of meeting with the fairies, goes to Eric and asks what he would pay for the information he has about Haley, because the fairies, they feel, are betraying them because their informants keep dying. So this demon is like, I'm not playing that game, because he gets more information on what's actually happened to Haley and Foray. And he knows that Eric is looking. So when she's 10, Aiden finds out what's been going on with Damien and all that stuff. And at the same time, Eric's getting this information from a demon. And Eric declares war. And then the Hakura are curious as to why he did that, because they're watching out for, any news with the fairies and stuff because of Haley. So Bjorn goes to talk to Eric about why he declared war on the fairies. That one's fun too. Those are all on the page. Okay, and then that's just information for all the other books. Okay, so I think that combined with the other lists I posted on here, that's where we're at with them right now. Can I vote for a Ribbon book after Alexander's book? I might need to. After his book and all the information, we might have to jump back into the Ribbon just for like that cleanser before we jump into the craziness of all the other kids' books. Or, I might just be on a roll and continue with Keaton's and then go to a Ribbon. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But so many outlines. So very many outlines. Let's see. Oh, no. That's not what I meant to do. This is definitely a great way to wake up from a nap. Okay, first of all, Amanda, I'm jealous that you're napping. I'm just going to throw that out there. You have a lot of fun ones. I do. I love them. Hi, Amanda. Wish you could snap all these plan books done like Haley. Right. Me too. Wish I could have more time in the day. That's what I wish. You're making up for I Don't Update Wednesday. I am glad that you guys like them. Have you ever considered an OG Haley book after the kids are settled with Haley and Eric? What do you mean? Shannon, if you're still on here, do you mean after the kids are all grown? Like what's going on with while we're following EJ? Is that what we're asking? Or like once they all have their mates, because there are 20 of them, it's going to take a hot second for them to get all their mates. Don't be jealous. It probably means I'm getting sick. I never nap. Oh, don't get sick. That's no good. I just want to take a nap. That's why I'm jealous. But yeah, Shannon, if you're still on, let me know if you're talking about like Haley's side after like Lexi's book or like in between some stuff in C-word. Yes, all grown, elderly Haley and Eric. Well, they're going to look the same for quite some time. And I've actually been toying with it because I think Haley and Eric are going to have more kids. So I've been toying with like, after the kids are often doing something and then jumping back into Haley and Eric's story and them having more kids. So we'll see. Can we request an outtake be a synopsis of one of these ribbon strands? Yes. If you're in that tier and you want me to write a prologue for one of the ribbon strands, I will do that as a fan request. A ribbon book would be fantastic. Question is though, who is in the ribbon? Well, Haley is in the ribbon. So, I must now channel my beta Dylan and then go back and watch the beginning of this live. Yeah, we've talked about some stuff. Good to know. I don't know what we're good to knowing, Betsy, but it's good to know it. Do you have an outline for Brianna? I do. I do have an outline for Brianna. I almost said her mate's name. We have heard his name. He hasn't spoken. Are you going to do... Am I going to do any... Okay, that message went away. Okay. But yeah, there are obviously some things coming that open it up to even more potential outlines and stories and things like that. I'm imagining people... Okay, I can't say this yet. Okay, on next week probably. I'm not sure. Okay, let's talk this out, guys. Okay, it's Wednesday. So Thursday, we will have Elise's chapter of 24. And then Friday, we'll have EJ's at 25. And Saturday, right? Am I on the right day? Oh, Saturday, we will have Elise's at 25. And then we're off Sunday. So Monday will be the epilogue and start of Cassie's book. So then either Sunday or Wednesday, depending on how things go with my coworkers, we'll jump on here and chat about some things, and then I will tell you what I think people will want to see. Guys, it's all so complicated. LOL that we can request. Yes, you can. I've posted some of them on here. There's one called Held Hostage. That prologue is on here. Is Brianna's name a nod to Outlander? It is. I love that show. I haven't got through all the books, but I like the books. But I'm really busy with all these outlines, so I don't have time to read these things. But yes, it is a nod to Outlander. Are you going to do ribbon stories of the kids? Probably not. But I won't say no outright because I change my mind about things. And then sometimes my brain just is like, this is an outline that you have in your head. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. Another OG and Haley Eric book. Their point of view now that they aren't active, Alpha and Luna would be great just at some point. Yeah, because there's a lot going on. Obviously, Eric is involved in the council now. Haley's kind of grown into her role as being with the Partial Fairies and a mom, so it's a possibility too. Will EJ and Elise be part of the ribbon now that they are that they're twice light bonded? So EJ does not think that they will. He said that they don't think. He doesn't think that. It's a possibility because they are twice light bound, but not every twice light bound couple goes into the ribbon. So we'll just have to see where his story goes. Are angels naturally good singers? No. Angels are not naturally good singers. How bad is a bad human Terea? We will get that answer. I think it's tomorrow, but guys, I'm tired. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow an outtake will be posted, and an answer to that question will be there for your viewing. But I will not tell you which supernatural group is inherently good at singing, but there is one. The council that Eric is on, are they over all the wolves or just certain areas? So it's the supernatural council for werewolves. That's Alpha Theo's on it, Lucas is on it, Chase is on it. There are several people on it, but not just from this area, but from all over. Jason Bonds, Beta Jason Bonds, Alpha is on it. They send Alpha Theo to Nashville because Nashville kind of gets on edge if Eric or any of them come on. Jackson's on it too, actually. The girl from the 18th birthday, one of them had a C name. Is she a sea wolf? That's a problem. So she was actually in the most recent chapter too. Her name is Claire, and we will find out. Angela kind of gave us a hint about that. Ramonza says sirens are good singers. We'll see. We'll see. But yes, the she-wolf's name in question is Claire. And what was Cassandra's wolf's name? We do not know that at this point. Yeah, we don't know that yet. And that's not to say, like, Cassandra is just a tough one for me, guys. She's a person that likes things to go how things, that she wants them to go. Those people don't ever see themselves as being, like, the villain in the story. And they're kind of always the victim in their own minds. Things like that. I think we all know people like that. I had another question that was posted before this. Is there a reason you are doing Preston's story? Yes, there is a reason I'm doing Preston's story. And there have been hints for it in the last 2 books for that reason. We don't, but you do. Yes, I do know Cassandra's wolf's name. I'm trying to think if I wrote an outtake recently where it was said. Might be. Okay. Got a few more minutes. At 4:05, I gotta get going. So ask all of your questions. We'll also be back on Sunday. I was just again on here because I didn't want it with my coworkers anymore today. Do all the alphas and betas have to attend the summit? So they are supposed to. There are certain people that do not come. Nashville packs tend not to come. There are a couple that do. And the reason is because they don't want to be around Eric and his allies, and they'll all be there. So they're not comfortable around them. They don't want to be around them, so they don't come. And then, the Black Path pack is just outright avoiding Alpha Chase Daniels because he doesn't like them. I love that you're allowing Nathan to grieve and not move on so fast. Right. For him, they were together for a really long time. Their oldest child, is in his Hold on. I think their oldest child was 40 when she died. Somebody tell me if I did math right. So, they were together for several years before they had Eric. So that was a long time to be together. He needs a minute. The men use the phrase about Claudia, she's a good girl. Is that part of the fairy enchantment or a witch's doing? So it's part of the charm. It's part of the charm. And because they genuinely believe it, like the dads think like she's this sweet girl who's just misunderstood. So, does the ring have something to blackmail Alpha Davis with? We'll find answers to that later. But yes, so I will post Odette, great siren name. We'll see if she is one. We don't know that. But I will talk to the girl who does my cover, see if she wants to do the next one. If she does, I will probably post the one for Cassie's book on Sunday, and then you guys will just have to keep a secret from the Facebook group about Cassie. What outside source can affect fairy sight? Angela seems blurry around the ring. So it's not necessarily an outside force. There is a character who could tell people how to mess with somebody's sight and could have set things in motion. So. Two minutes. Dose. We can keep a secret. That's good, guys. Because like I said, Cassie's title is going to tell you who her mate is. So, or it should. I'll say it should tell you who her mate is. I think it does. I guess you guys will have to tell me whether or not I'm crazy when I post the cover art. We swear an oath to our fairy godmother. Hey. You could also, I've been asked multiple times in the Facebook group, but they've been irking me lately. I'm sure you guys can tell that. So I haven't told them how close we are to the end of EJ's book. So if you want to set things on fire, you could probably tell them, or you could just keep it secret. Either way, I don't care. Thank you very much for doing this today. You should thank my coworkers. They're being super extra today. Like, seriously, I had to, so this guy emails an entire, like, DL, which is, like, 100+ people, asking a question of why something isn't in one of our systems. He's on my team, and our team knows that in this other system, it has to be at an 80% probability of close to interface into the other system. It is at 55% in the other system, you guys. No matter how many times I tell this guy things, he just can't grasp them. Just gets me sometimes. It's like, I have told you this like a billion times. It's in a OneNote. It's in a shared OneNote. You can go look. It's literally, there's a picture. I made instructions with pictures. Emailed 100+ people, and then I had to tell him because it's at 55% in Salesforce. The dumb people on Facebook keep being dumb. Can we make a private badass girl gang group? I feel like that's this group for members who are on Patreon and the ones on Facebook. So what I'm going to do, and I'm sure people have noticed because I've seen people saying they don't see what we're talking about, I've started to delete them. Not the people, just the comments. I've started to delete the comments. If you see something that you think is offensive, report it. I'll review it. That's how I'm going to deal with this. I'm just going to start muting people and deleting their comments because I am tired of the warnings. I'm tired of the negativity. This is something that I'm really passionate and enjoy doing. Like, I'm negative about my job a lot of the time because, well, I don't really like it. It's just a job. So to me, for this, I want to see the passion. I want to see the excitement, but I don't want to see the rudeness and I don't want to see the negativity. So, you know, my husband and I were talking the other night and he's like, you know, artists tend to be a bit more emotional as people. And he's like, you know, maybe we just take a different approach to this. He's like, because you're one of those people who you take everything that people say to heart. And he's right. I do. So I think that's what I'm just going to have to do. I'm just going to delete the comments. So if you see something that you think is offensive, report it and we'll go about it that way. And I'm just going to start muting people so that they can't talk. Because that makes me feel better. I may have already checked if the scrolling is open. That's what's best for your mental health. Delete, move on. Exactly. I think it is. I think, you know, I made a couple of these videos where they get to me, and then, you know what, it got to the point where I said something on Facebook itself. And then people still went off. A couple people have said things, and I just think it's to the point where, you know what, I don't want to focus on it anymore. I don't want to give them any more attention. So just going to do what I have been. I'm going to delete it. And if they keep it up, I'll mute them in the group. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if that mutes them forever and I have to unmute them, like put them in a timeout. I guess that's what we're doing. I'm going to put them in a timeout. I'm sorry, your coworker doesn't listen about anything. He asked me the same question like 5 times a week. And I'm like, you literally asked me this yesterday and I told you the answer. It's like, just scroll up. It's like minimal effort. Alania is a get back that she wasn't the most powerful fairy with sight. She sucks, to be honest. She sucks all the time. But yeah, I think that's where we're at with the Facebook group. I'm just going to mute people that upset me and delete their comments because I don't want anybody to be bullied no matter what they say to me. That's part of why I, like, if people are like, I can't find the comment, it's because I don't want people to, you know, attack somebody else. I don't want to see that on the group. I've been disappointed to see like a couple people going at each other and switching from like talking about their theories with the book to like personal attacks. I'm not cool with that either. I don't want anybody to be bullied or anything like that. So I will continue to delete those comments. I've said my piece. I'm not going to say any more about it on Facebook. If you can't understand where I'm coming from, that's, you know, people's personal opinion, but I'm just going to start deleting things. I don't really like to be that micromanagey, but for myself and my mental health, because I've gotten into it a few times. I've gotten into arguments with people. And, you know, it's not worth anybody's time, especially mine, to be blunt. It's not worth my time because, you know, it does affect me mentally. I am more sensitive. And yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. That's where we're at. I appreciate there have been multiple people on here who have reached out to me saying that you've never meant to offend me. And I have answered all of them honestly and told them it's not them. You know, there's people disappointed. Cassie's book is next. They're frustrated. They want to pull out their hair, call the character stupid. That is not anybody in this group. I check. I will tell you, no one in this group has left a comment that has upset me because I check on here when I see a comment that upsets me. I check if they're on here. This group is fine. So if you're one of those people who are scared it's you, it's not. Amanda, I feel like we all do things that aren't our job. Like, I just feel like if you're the competent person, like in your group, you just have to do everything. And it's become like this mentality of just be a team player. And it's like, but that's not my job. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at with the Facebook group. I don't want anybody in here to worry that it's them. It's not. So, yeah, I'm just that's what we're going to do. People say things. If you see it and you think it's bad, you can report it. I will keep it or delete it one way or the other. Yeah, that's just where we're going. I'm not going to say anything else about it there. Just going to change the way I view it mentally. Just delete it and move on. Because, you know, we've had a couple people have gotten on there and said things. And if you don't get it by now, I don't think there's anything that can be said or done that's going to make you understand, in my opinion. So moving away from the negativity and going back to the positive that the page is for and that it brings. So that's where we're headed with that. But I will chat with you all on Sunday. So yeah, all we will be missing to EJ's story when we chat next is the epilogue. So, and we'll probably have some things to talk about with Cassie, because I hope to have her cover posted by then. So if we all ever need a new group, thank you. But I will chat with you guys later, and you all have a good Wednesday.